Okay, let's start a new game. We will go to the moon. I will do 5 times or because watching people mine is boring. And we're just going to do standard on the moon. Surprisingly, Mars is a bit easier than the moon because Mars has an atmosphere and the moon does not. But that's part of where starting on the moon kind of teach you things that Mars doesn't. Alrighty. So, first things first, dismantle the lander. There's the construction crate. Open it up, pull out some frames. And let's start off with something kind of small at first. This is not a brutal start, but out of habit, you kind of try to build your base quickly. Let's go get some iron frames. Iron sheets, I mean. Get our welder going. And 1 sheet is solid, 2 is airtight. Solid, airtight, solid, airtight. You want your living quarters to be airtight, but if you're going to be outside, you just want a solid surface. As you can see, out here is going to be a nice working area, so it's just a solid surface, but not airtight. Get this going, because we want our arc furnace. Our auto lathe. Do iron sheets. I believe it's 4 cable. Yep, 4 cable. Then 2 plastic sheets. Stand by the welder. And then you do screwdriver to complete it. And there you go, you got your auto lathe. At the moment is not very helpful as it has no power or material. Let's wire this up. I use the middle mouse wheel to change the orientation of the wire. Wait, I still need to. Right, let's open up the mining backpack. Let's put these in here, and I actually prefer to have the mining backpack on my belt because then all ores go right into it. Let's flatten this out. I use the R button to actually open up that menu and close that menu. It will open up the additional options on whichever hand you have open. G will put the tool back. You can see where there's a highlight. You can also push F and that drags it out. Those? Yeah, those are frames. And let's start building power out this way. Welder. Just need it solid. I don't need it airtight. Now I need power. That's hydroponics, or electrical systems. So we're going to need that unit and that unit to begin with. This is the power control modular. Basically, it's your on-off switch. Don't have room, so let's throw you out. Pull out the crowbar to open it up. And boom. Now our system actually has power. I only need 1 power control unit at the moment. One basic solar panel. portable generator, power connector, solid fuel generator. I don't need that right now. And rotating the piece with C. Alright. And now we have power connectors. Alright, let's put the welder back in there and we'll put atmospherics into the tablet and put the tablet down there. Now we have some space. So, right now we have the basic power systems, but we have no ores, so no materials to process. Let's go get some. That looks like gold. Yep, that's gold. You can tell by the gold color. Silver basically has that as silver. You'll eventually learn to, let's take it off. You'll eventually learn how to spot the ores from a distance, but it can take time. Certain ores do look like each other. Alright, and since I have the ore multiplier on, we're not going to have to mine that much. Here's some coal. What coal's doing on the moon is anybody's guess. Maybe there's peat bogs in the distant past. I need to find some copper. That's oxide, that's nitrite, that's volatiles. You also want to always know where your base is because you can get lost. If you're playing with a partner, you can use the tracker to track to your partner. There is a tracking beacon. I just did not deploy it. There's some silicone, which we will need later. Right now, we are just looking. Jay turns on the jetpack. Let's see here. Copper's a greenish ore, not to be confused with uranium. Iron, silicone, iron. Oh, I don't think I've ever struggled this hard to find copper so early. It's usually finding gold. There we go, there's copper. Come on, they're usually, sometimes you have to dig a little deeper. There we go. And now let's go process it. Start off by processing the iron. This is one you'll use more than anything else. Turn on the power, and now you can. Alright, while that is processing, let's try to actually set up a livable area. Right now I'm putting walls. Walls have very limited pressure differential that they can support. Those particles you see is actually gas escaping because those ores are off-gassing. And yeah, might as well make the airlock right here. Means I will have to make that bottom plate airtight. And as you can see, we're still open to the world. Now we gotta go find the doors. So airlock supplies. Doors and fence. pipes. Let's put these up. We don't need them. It's still oh, it's done processing the iron. Now let's process some copper. You'll note that on the doors, como se dice, I made sure the power ports were on the inside. Oops. So, showing that again, you'll see that you have the power, which is the one with the lightning bolt, and the data are inside the airlock. And I need a welding torch. Then we go glass with the crowbar. Until you power things up, you can open it up with the crowbar. Right. We'll put that guy right there for now. Since space is a vacuum, we only need a one-way airlock as opposed to an advanced airlock. So all we have to do is make sure that we keep the air that we want inside. Electrical, actually yes, because I'm going to want that, and we're going to take that. So you see how I already had the wire there to splice in a new one? You have to have the wire cutters. It's actually not that bad, it's just something you need to know. While I'm at it. No, not you. Yes. You can avoid having to splice it in by just picking the right cable to begin with, but how often do we ever design it with that in mind? Alright, now let's go get the airlock modular. Airlock. The airlock in the console, put the glass on. Crowbar to open you up. Put in the battery. Turn you on. Turn you on. And now let's go get the data chip. Right there, so we can program the thing. Put the data chip in the programming slot, exterior door, gas sensor, and oh, I know what I forgot to wire in. I forgot to wire in the actual vent. And now we gotta rewire this guy. Over here. And there we go. Data chip go in. And now we should have a nice airlock. one thing to do before we get too far. Why, technically doesn't really matter because there's no storms on the moon. I still like to have my stuff secured. Where the hinges are in the back, otherwise it's going to be problematic. Missed it. It's often better to drag the crates backwards. You can't see what you're doing, but then you know how to fight with the movement of the crates. Hinges are that side. There we go. I gotta get gas. Oh, there's one more crate. Because watch what happens when you try to go forward. Not as easy. Alright, let's get the gases. Oh, got water. Oxygen. And fuel. Which, I'm going to be honest, the fuel I'm kind of probably going to just ignore for the most part. Because I'm just going to use the oxides and the volatiles. Oxygen, super important. You need that to breathe. Pulling up our suit. Right there, I have 4,452, and as you can see, it's counting down. Oh yeah, I should shut out my light. That light uses a lot more power than you realize, and if you don't need it, you shouldn't use it. But out here, I kind of need it. Alright. Oh yeah, I need to do some gold first. So, type in the gold, process the gold. And let's see. Well, that's might be enough for hydraulic. Before I do that, because I did this in my last game, I forgot to check all the crates because I'm so used to going on brutal. Portable air conditioning, mining charges and flares. There's the beacon I was talking about. P to deploy it. Alright, I did not see a hydraulic pipe bender in this, which I'm not surprised. But I had to be so. Now that it started making, I can come over here and go, I want to see what the furnace takes. Not to be confused with furniture, furnace. And now we'll just have to wait. So we got our solar power, which gets us some power, but not a lot. It's blinking red because we're not making as much power as we're using. This is processing the gold. Come in here. Do we have any empty slots on any of these? Yes, we do. Let's move some coal off into it, because I am not going to be needing that much coal anytime soon.
Power low.
Means I'm at 50% battery power. Let's conserve power. Ooh, water ice. That will be useful later. I'll wait for the sun to come up. Put the wall back. Let's see. Let's mine up some of this oxide. That ore doubling really does, or it's actually quintupling, but it definitely does its job. Oh, wow, I was way off on my perceptions. Something to watch out for. Just because you think you're putting in the right spot doesn't mean you are. Alright. Before we get started on this project, it is room number 14. Okay. So first thing to do is let's give us a little bit of atmosphere. Not enough. Alright. There we go. Just enough to get the ice melting. So as you can see, the pressure is going up. It is horribly cold, but
Low pressure.
I can take off my suit now. And probably good timing because I'm starting to get hungry and thirsty. Water hydration's here, hunger's up here. You always start with a granola, a cereal bar, and a water bottle in your uniform, which is always useful. Alrighty, so we actually have an atmosphere in here. Alright, let's put the suit back on, and let's make sure the airlock works properly. And it does not. That's a problem. That's a problem. Let's fix that. There we go. That should fix the problem. Because basically what happened is it thought this was the interior door and this was the exterior door. There's a label maker for that purpose, and I just forgot to utilize it. Ready? Let's wire this guy up. I should have brought the iron sheets, but I forgot to. I brought the plastic sheets, but let's see here. Sheets. I'm going to want 4 of them. Now, I'm actually going to skip the furnace and go to the electronics printer. Now we have our pipe bender which will allow us to do like more active vents and that sort of thing. So, let's get the furnace queued up. Oh, and while we are able to see, where was those molecules? I know we saw some earlier. I want to say they were in this trip. There they are. There's some cobalt. Probably start looking for some silver, nickel. Well, actually, I have nickel, silver, and lead. That looks like gold. Okay. You'll see on the right, I have the jetpack fuel that's counting down as I'm using up the nitrogen in my tank. You can also see it on the jetpack in that green cylinder. That looks like iron. And let's get that furnace going. Because I want to be able to get where I can make almost saying less solar power, more solar panels, and a battery for the station. Because we got water, we got food for now. Power is our limiting factor. We will have to wire that in at some point. There's some extra cable. Let's put that in there. I don't want the other guys in because they might melt. We're gonna need you. Not gonna need you. Nope, gonna need you. Not gonna need you. Okay. We'll need you. See if it works right this time. Wire this guy up. Alright, I'm gonna need iron sheets. 4 of them. Place it on its side for right now, because this is a temporary structure. I like to get to the advanced furnace pretty quickly. So, we're going to need iron. Let's go pick up some iron. I need 300 iron for what I want to do. And there's 300 iron. Let's go get the coal. would be problematic. I need to be in the shade. I don't remember if this trick works. Let's try it. Alrighty. And that gets us our pressure and temperature. I'm probably gonna have to pump it up again because it's losing heat and gaining pressure. We're gonna have a nice huge batch of steel to make us happy. Alright, let's come back into the shadow. Keep the 2-to-1 ratio. And let's go power this back up. And 900, it turns green, we're good, and boom. Now we can start building some better stuff. Oh, I'm an idiot. Put it on the wrong side of the APC, so APC all the way over here. Cabling wired up properly. And let's deal with this issue. Although it's kind of, I'm going to be changing all the electrical anyway, so, because this is a crappy solar power, but right now it's all I got. This up there, this up there. There. Power is taken care of. I haven't reconnected the system, so it's not going to be frame. What else did I need last? Alright, now look at these. solid, so we can build on it. I need to make a tool printer so I can make mining backpacks. That would definitely help me out. But let's deal with the power bit first. Oh, I'm gonna need more gold. Where's the glass? Thought I didn't need the glass anymore, and yes, I need it for the solar panels. Should be enough for 2 solar panels. Okay, and you know what? We do need more gold because that tool printer is going to take gold. I'm going to need some steel sheets for that battery. Let's level the ground out so we don't trip over anything. There we go. Oh, this one actually doesn't take.
Power critical.
2 beefier solar panels. There you go. That should line it up. So when we do have dawn, we will start power. And now we're waiting. Big reason we're not doing other things is we gotta watch that power. It looks like it's gonna be daylight soon, but until we get daylight, we are kind of in a bit of trouble. I have other batteries to keep myself alive, but I'd rather not resort to those methods. We have a backup of a 9% large battery. Grab the welder. Screwdriver. Turn it off. Alrighty, so now we have that. I should hope. Hopefully by pointing that towards dawn, we'll always get power once I do get this automated, that when dawn hits, if I'm out of power, it will show them all facing the right way. Hey! Here comes the sun. Da 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 da. You're starting to see the flickers of power. It's going up. Shut you off. Put you in there. You'll grab all the power. And we're getting more power. Yay! And now I want to come here and go. Get 2 of these and we can get some basic solar tracking. Put that away, get the screwdriver out. Oh shit. Now that should be tracking the sun. Boom, there we go. So now we have sun tracking, or solar power. Let's see, where did I put the tracker? Oh shit, I never did make that one. Okay. Let's go make the tool. And screwdriver to the finish. Now we have our tool forge. Steel, copper, gold, iron. It's always the last one, and it's always the one you need. Alright, there we go. Mining. Let's grab 2 of those. Alright, that's our gas one. And this will be our ore one. Silicone, yes, we need a lot of silicone. See if we can go find some lead, silver. cobalt. Might as well grab some cobalt. Cobalt's only really used in late game or if you need a desperate source of volatiles. Up in the air where we can see a little bit wider. More copper because you can never have iron and copper, you can never have enough. Sounds shiny. It's probably gonna be gold, but oh, is that? That's copper. I almost thought it was lead. So we're looking for the ores that we alloy, which is why I'm specifically looking for silver and lead. So lead is used to make solder, and silver is used to make electrum. And I think we found some silver. Nope, nope, just gold. Just some gold, which we have some. Alright, let's get some more because I'd rather be able to make a lot of electrum at one time. Later on, we will have sensor lenses that will allow us to see the ores in the ground. I believe that is lead? Yes, that is lead. Alright, we have enough lead. That lead could possibly last us the game. Now we are just hunting silver. You can see the escape pod is a very nice beacon. You can see that fairly far. Ah, here we go. Silver! That should be enough silver for now. There we go. There's our location. I'm going to fly and do the rest of this alloy. Well, I'm probably going to need to pay attention for iron, because actually I will be needing iron. There's some coal. More coal. Water ice. Nitric ice, which be careful, it's got nitric oxide as well as nitrogen. Should have picked up all that iron when I was tripping over it. There we go. There's iron. That's enough to get me going, so why don't I just... Alright, remember how I said it's easy to get lost? There we go. But just to show everybody else what to do if you can't see it. Boom, there's our base. It's too hot. 5.
Hydration critical.
Right, 10 degrees. Remember, that's 3 of them in there. Four. I might regret this. 5. I'm just gonna let that go. Because, That's right, I know where it's at. You're in here. Although, come to think of it. This is the one. Shut you off. We're not needing you right now. Airlock supplies. I guess we do need it. I thought I'd try. Go. Did have pipes. Big yellow pipes. There they go. I know it is getting warmer inside my thing, so I will eventually need to address cooling, but not at this moment. There we go. There's our solder. I'm gonna need my nickel, which I left in here. I keep leaving stuff in here. But we're getting organized. Constantine. We want copper and nickel. And I'm not going to waste all my nickel on it, so we're just going to split it in half. And we're going to split the copper in half. Oh, shit. Too much, too much. Ready. Now, I will blow my load on silver and do 100 on the silver. But we got to get our pressure down for that one. It's probably going to take a while. Let's go get some water in us.
Hunger caution.
It's crazy how long it takes to depressurize. Keep it over. Wait. 600K, not 800. 800 is the minimum pressure. But yes, we have to wait for it to drop from 21.2 all the way down to 2.4. So that's going to be a chore. At least we don't have to worry about power. Yay, we're actually getting a whole tick. Big thing to remember is we got those large batteries that we've filled. Whee! Sometimes you get that on low gravity where you're like, just a little leap, and all of a sudden you go flying. So, yeah. Try to stay out of the heat. I guess isn't possible. There we go. Out of the heat, but where we can see. Well, we're already down to 15.9, so it's going nicely now. We still got about 13 more megapascals to go. So let's talk about what we will be doing after we get this. We're going to upgrade all of our printers because once you have the electronics mod on the electronics printer, you can make mods for the other printers. After getting our infrastructure where we can print what we want, I want to change our furnace to the advanced furnace so we can start doing stuff more efficiently than what we're doing now. It'd be real easy to get back to the 2.4 with the advanced furnace because it comes with built-in pumps, which this one does not. We'll get the water refiller up and going. We'll get plants growing. And then we'll start looking into getting trade up and running. And after we get trade, we'll look at actually getting our own water being made and having the plants make our oxygen. I mean, we have plenty of water, we have plenty of oxides, but let's try to make this base self-sufficient. The other thing I'm going to do is we're on the moon. Radiation's not a thing in this game, but realistically, if you're building a base on the moon, you're going to burrow down. So I'm going to keep this as kind of the shed, the lifeboat. So we'll get this where it's sustainable, it's self-sufficient, and it's our fallback point. But then we're going to start building down to bedrock and building a base in bedrock. Where we'll actually have things like we'll have the deep miners down at bedrock. Then we'll have an elevator going up to the atmospherics level, to the greenhouse level, to the genetics level, and so on. That's my plan for all this. I originally planned on doing Harveys for switchgrass, but eventually I want to learn to do the Larrys. But right now I'm just working at getting the base self-sufficient. And I need to get oxygen. My oxygen's starting to get low. And there's the thing.
Airtight critical.
Oh, that's a 7, not a... From what I thought I only had 2,000 pascals of oxygen, but no, I have a lot more. Alright, we are almost there. We got about 3 megapascals to go, which is actually really good figuring we were at like 31 to begin with. And once we get this, we can start doing things more efficiently where we don't have to wait like this. Temperature is holding for now, but it's also dropping quickly, which has me worried. I think we'll get to 2.4 before we drop below 600K. Yeah, I'm confident, but it's still dropping faster than I like it. About 14. 1.4 more and 130k left to go, so it's beyond my comfort level, but it's what I have to live with. Yeah, we're going to make it with plenty of room to spare. It's just out of my comfort zone. Seal that up real quick. There we go. There's the end bar. So the fun part is once you get all this upgrade, you can start getting into IC10, which is MIPS. So like right now, I have this controlling the solar panels, which on the moon is fine. You just have straight up and down movement on the moon. When you get to Mars, though, you actually have it where it's not straight up and down, so you have to control the horizontal and the vertical, which is much better to control it with MIPS than these guys. You can control your advanced furnaces with MIPS. You can control a lot of things. You can control everything. Everything that has a data input can be controlled with the MIPS. You can do your own airlocks. They've done a lot of revamping on the MIPS logic systems, and we're going to have some fun with that. Come on. Oh, could get my screwdriver ready. 40%. 2 ticks on the station battery. Oh yeah, and after we get this upgraded, we can make the large station battery, but we need to upgrade this to the advanced furnace because if I remember correctly, the large station battery requires the higher tier alloys. But as we go, we'll be expanding those solar panels. We'll be expanding the solar. You have to be moody, don't you? We'll be expanding the solar panels outward. The red cables can go up to 500k, which is just under 10 of these because you want to account for fluctuations. Because you could do 10, but I usually do. Is it 10 or 100? It's 10. But then we'll replace all these cables with heavy duty cables, and that's 100,000k. You can get a lot more solar panels on that. And after that, it's just building station batteries to accommodate the ebbs and flows, and you'll have plenty of power. And there we go. Nice, better design. Let's start with the tool printer. We can also get the hard suit spacesuit, which is the better spacesuit, but that also requires better alloys. We can get the heavy mining drill, which will make mining faster when I have to do it. Better belts, because right now we get more spots with the tier 2 belts. And that guy is kind of obsolete, but I'll leave him there as a backup. And when we build the underground base, we will actually build it not exactly on top of this, but close enough that if something goes wrong, you can run back here. The whole point is you want to have this as a backup because one of the horrible fates is if you lose your auto lathe and your arc furnace, you're kind of SOL if things break because you kind of need at least this and this to continue. You can't make an autolathe without an autolathe. If you have a furnace, you don't need your arc furnace, but you need an autolathe to make an autolathe. I like to have a little lifeboat building, so if all hell breaks loose, you can retreat. %, on the tool. We're on day 3 and we're already getting our tier 2 printers up and running. We are also not struggling for power. We have no food or water generation, but that's actually not hard to get up. We actually have most of the equipment to get that up. I'll have to make some Invar eventually, but I will wait for the advanced furnace for that, because then I don't have to use welding gas. I can just use power. Here's the nice thing that we want. That will let us see the ores, that will let us see the celestial bodies, and this will let us see our utilities through walls. Now with these up, it's like you actually have a bit of a clock, because when they start facing that direction, you know it's going to be sun. That's another thing you can do with MIPS, is you can take these and actually put a clock on the wall, so you know what time it is. If I remember correctly, Stationeers uses a 20-minute day? Let's see, Dave. Yes, 20-minute day cycle. Which is important for plants because organics, potato, they have a minimum light and a minimum dark cycle. You can give your plant too much light. It does need its time to sleep. I do hope I can get to rockets. I haven't really done rockets since the rocket update. I used to use rockets extensively before the rocket update, but I haven't done it since. So, like, I had code that made the rockets work on their own. They'd go get the materials. I had a processing center where it would get sorted. The gases would get mixed to be more fuel. It would load up the rocket with more fuel and then go back up. So it was self-sustaining. But then they updated the rockets, and that code no longer works. You have to rebuild the rockets completely differently. And I've tried it once, but didn't really finish. So that's something I'm hoping to accomplish on this. But I think this has shown us quite a bit. We've built a shelter, we've built the airlock, we've got the furnace going, we got solar and solar tracking, you know, and for those who missed that or felt I didn't explain enough, we have the solar stencil facing dawn. We have it go into a logic reader. It picks up the daylight sensor. It transmits the vertical angle to the batch writer, not the logic writer. The batch writer will write to every solar panel, not the basic solar panel, but all the solar panels with this configuration at the same time. So if they're rotated differently, it's got to mess things up, which is why they're all facing the same direction. And it outputs the vertical angle, which is this one, and leaves the horizontal alone. Now, because I'm only controlling the vertical, if I had this one 90 degrees off, I could rotate this 90 degrees and then it would track it. It's mostly, you just get into the habit of having them all face the same direction, for when you do go on planets where both of them are important. Alright, and now we have that one. Alright, I think this is a good place to leave off. We have the printers at tier 2, we have power, and shelter. Alright, let's come in here, take off our suits so we don't get stinky, and rest until next time.